Today, we take a look at NFL players' most controversial moments. NFL players keep us entertained week after week, yet the sport has its controversies, and we wanted to rehash some of those moments. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson is arguably the first name that comes to mind when you think about NFL scandals. He was a part of one of the most infamous sports scandals in history. His murder trial was one of the most well-publicized in history because of a televised police chase involving it. When the murder trials began, no one cared that Simpson was a Heisman Trophy winner and NFL MVP. He was acquitted of murdering his wife, to the surprise of millions of Americans, even though the evidence seemed stacked against him. He has had a host of other controversies after the trial, including numerous run-ins with the law. Golden Tate's winning Hail Mary play. The Seahawks were behind 12-7 with 8 seconds left in the game. Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks sent a pass into the end zone, where a slew of Packers players and Seahawks receiver Golden Tate leapt to make the catch. Tate fought for possession after players went to the ground after Jennings appeared to make an interception. It was a touchdown according to the referee. The score remained the same after a booth review, and Seattle won 14-12. The result prompted a flurry of tweets from Packers players, as well as no apologies from the Seahawks for the gift and strong calls for the NFL to resolve its disagreement with the regular officials. Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is known as one of the best defensive players in the NFL, as well as one of the most divisive. Taylor's life seemed to be spiraling out of control, much to the dismay of NFL fans everywhere. He's been arrested for many drug and DWI offenses, and he's even admitted to sexual misconduct with a 16-year-old. His ill-fated acting career didn't improve matters either. Taylor's unusual ideas and public controversies have been portrayed in documentaries and TV shows. USA Today even labeled him one of the most despised NFL players of all time. Terrell Owens. What else can be said about Terrell Owens? He's a walking controversy. Whether he cries or spikes a football in midfield for a touchdown celebration, then there's T.O. The 49ers star situation worsens in the show, which aired on VH1. What he will do for an encore this season is the issue now. James Harrison. The veteran Pittsburgh linebacker has had a long and illustrious career in the City of Steel. He was arrested for assault in 2008, and the NFL has penalized him on multiple occasions for his back-breaking hits on rival offensive players. In an interview with Men's Journal last month, Harrison signaled out Commissioner Roger Goodell and teammate Ben Roethlisberger, among others. He's a ticking time bomb brimming with controversy, ready to detonate at any moment. The Music City Miracle. With only 16 seconds remaining in a 2000 AFC wildcard game against the Buffalo Bills, the Titans needed a miracle. They got one in the shape of one of the most legendary NFL plays of all time. When the play was reviewed, I believe Phil Luckett made the correct decision in finding the evidence inconclusive to reverse the call. But what if it had been referred to on the field as a lateral? Is it possible that the evidence would have been inconclusive as well? Across the board, I believe the call was correct. However, because it is so close one way or the other, it is surely contentious and debatable. Snowplow game of 1982. On December 2nd, 1982, a legendary nor'easter dumped a foot of snow on New England, ahead of a game against the division rival Miami Dolphins. The result was one of the more amusing of the NFL's controversial moments. With less than 5 minutes remaining in the game, the Patriots drove into position for a 33-yard field goal try. Snowplow operator Mark Henderson, a convicted thief on a work release program, was asked by Patriots coach Ron Meyer to remove the snow-covered turf so John Smith could kick off from a clean spot. Smith kicked the game-winning field goal. The Patriots triumphed 3-1, and Miami Dolphins coach Don Shula was left to pout in the snow. Michael Vick. It's simple to see why he is one of today's most contentious athletes. This NFL player has been sued by a woman for allegedly giving her an STD, penalized for making obscene gestures at spectators, and accused of attempting to sneak a water bottle into a plane with a concealed compartment. But it is Michael Vick's involvement and conviction in dogfighting at his house that is most well known. His flagrant animal maltreatment has gotten a lot of attention, with some individuals, including football fans, believing he should have gotten heavier punishments and be banned from ever playing football again. Adam Jones. Jones, dubbed Pac-Man, is not only one of the most contentious players in NFL history, history, but also one of the most notorious criminals. He's already been arrested 6 times in his career, including his most recent encounter with the law last month. He claimed to have been involved in an incident, but almost no one believes him anymore. When he's seen game action, he's been a fine player, but he just can't keep his head out of trouble. Burt Emanuel in the 1999 NFC Championship game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were driving down the field with less than a minute left in the game, behind 11-6, and hoping to shock the St. Louis Rams and proceed to the Super Bowl. Burt Emanuel seemed to make a 13-yard grab, but a replay determined that ball's nose hit the ground and the pass was declared incomplete despite Emanuel's entire control of the ball during the catch. Following the play, a rule amendment was implemented that clarified what was considered a valid reception. Ben Roethlisberger. For a long time, Big Ben has been the face of controversy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It all began with a motorcycle accident in 2006, and things have only gotten worse since then. In 2009 and 2010, he was the central figure in 2 sexual assault allegations, causing NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to suspend the 2-time Super Bowl champion quarterback for the first 4 games of the 2010 season. I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of Roethlisberger's contentious side. Phil Luckett and the 1998 Thanksgiving Day coin flip. Jerome Bettis of the Pittsburgh Steelers called tails, according to referee Phil Luckett, who also said Bettis called heads tails. The overtime flip coin resulted in tails. The Lions took over possession of the ball and kicked the game-winning field goal at 2:52 into sudden death overtime to beat the Steelers 19-16. What didn't help was that the game was broadcast on national television over one of the great American holidays, Thanksgiving, giving Luckett's coin flip moment a national audience. Randy Moss. Moss was once regarded as one of the league's most formidable wide receivers, but that didn't stop him from provoking a slew of controversy. He was charged with violence for his role in a racially motivated incident even before he joined the NFL. He then broke his probation and was sentenced to further time in prison. Randy Moss has been punished for his rage, forced to complete anger management classes, and has been involved in even more brawls. He's stormed off the pitch, mooned fans, and even collided with a police officer. This contentious player seemed to be unable to keep out of trouble. Plaxico Burress. Plaxico Burress is the most divisive wide receiver in the NFL right now. After an embarrassing incident with a gun in 2009, Burress has completed his sentence and is set to prove to the rest of the world that he can manage himself this season with a new NFL squad. Remember when he was with the Giants? He didn't get along with coach Tom Coughlin and was dubbed a diva wide receiver by many. In 2021, the Jets are the newest team to take on this highly controversial athlete, even though his rap sheet includes other civil lawsuits and tax indictments. The Bush Push. One of the best college football games of the decade was the 2005 clash between USC, then ranked number 1, and Notre Dame, then ranked number 9. With barely 7 seconds remaining and the ball on the 1-yard line, USC pretended to spike the ball, allowing Leinart to attempt the sneak. Matt Leinart was initially stuffed, but a late burst, aided by a Reggie Bush shove, sent him into the end zone. That thrust was technically illegal, though it was a rarely prosecuted offense. Fans of Notre Dame, though, had reason to be disappointed. The Immaculate Reception. A highly contested 1972 AFC divisional playoff game between the Oakland Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers ended with the most remarkable and controversial play in NFL history. With 22 seconds left, the Steelers were down 7-6 to the Raiders and faced a 4th and 10 situation at their own 40. In a confrontation with the Raiders' Jack Tatum, Terry Bradshaw's pass meant for Frenchie Fuqua was batted away, and Franco Harris was in the proper location to grab the flailing football and run for the wildly impossible winning score. The Tatum-Fuqua collision is at the crux of the debate, which, for the purpose of brevity, revolved around a double offensive touch, which was forbidden at the time. Which controversial play is your all-time biggest? Please let us know with a comment. Thank you for watching. We look forward to having you back. Until then, take care.